Alrighty, welcome back to the stream, and welcome back to Adventures in Game Dev. So before we start, I would like to give a brief shout out and thanks to Arix1234, who subbed literally yesterday with Prime, and for some reason it's not showing up in my dashboard. Like, I'm looking at it right here, I see nothing. I can see the sub count, and I also checked, it's like, oh yeah, no, they subbed yesterday at some point, but it's not showing up. Period. So I don't know what's up with that. So, my apologies for that. I will try and get in touch with Twitch support, because I think that's like the third or fourth time that's happened. So I've really got to figure out what's going on with that. It's very annoying. I was trying to submit a support ticket just a minute ago, but I can't even find where that is. Like, if I go to the Twitch thing, I go to, like, help. Oh, I see. So it has to show up in chat? It's still annoying. Alright, well, maybe that's the problem then. Anyway, thank you for the sub. I do see it there, so I appreciate it. Just, I can't do anything about it. Anyway, back to the game dev, shall we? Also, before I forget, you're currently listening to StreamBeats as usual. This is the hi-fi playlist we're playing again. I like it. It's very funky. It's chill. Alrighty, so back to this. My plan for today is to figure out how to do resolution stuff. Because when you look at stuff like, when you look at stuff like most modern games, or even recreations of older games, they'll always list like, okay, so this is our default resolution. We kind of shrunk it down to whatever your monitor is that we think is correct, but you can change the resolution down if you want, or up. Also, I'd like to have a windowed, borderless windowed, and full screen option. That would be pretty sick if possible. So I've got a thing here. Let's see what this says. There's a GameMaker blog as per usual, which gives you all the information, but I gotta figure out how this works. So one thing that's important is, this one I know, all the resolution stuff is basically set based on your first room. So given that my first room is the main menu room here, all the resolution stuff is going to be based on whatever I set here. So 1920 by 1080 is... That'll be this room, and then all the other rooms, lab ball and the game, I set to 1920 by 1080. But if I were to link it into, say, this room, it would all be the same thing. It would all be working on that width and height and whatnot. Okay. So this is a whole thing. Okay, so tutorial. Create a room. Got your room here. The object is going to be display. So create a display object to handle that? I guess that makes sense. Alright, well, let's create a new object. We'll just do this, because it'll make it easier. Actually, I'm gonna rename this master display. Because you never know if I need to, like, change things. So add event on create. We're going to open the INI file, and what the hell is my INI file called? I think it's called settings. So let me just close all of this for the moment. Setting selections. Yeah, right. This whole thing doesn't work at the moment. Objects. Okay, I think it's probably in step. I think that's where I have everything. Alright, so going here, the variables enter. Right, it's just settings.ini. Actually, it's in the main object, isn't it, too? Come to think of it. So, open settings, open the ini file. We're gonna read. Probably number, section. Let me go to the ini file real quick here, and it'll set it. Alright. Oh, also one other thing we're gonna do here. Persistent. Because this is going to stick around the entire time. None of the other ones are visible, are they? Yeah, no, don't make that one visible. Definitely don't make that one visible. I mean, this actually doesn't have to be visible. What it makes has to be visible, but that one doesn't have to be visible. These ones I don't even need to care about. Alright, back to this. So the ini file is in users, app data, local low? Or local? I think it's local low. No. This is in local. There it is. Alright, so we've got the ini file right there. So settings is the section. We are going to... I'm gonna change... Should I change that one? Currently it's got the sound effects off setting and then score max, score min, score sub. So let's go with section... settings... key... Actually, no. You know, let's go key resolution. We do that? Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do resolution default is going to be, it's going to have to be a string instead. Call that this res, or let's see, open res. Default is going to be 1920 x 1080. So is that a good idea? Because that means anytime I'm going to do this, I'm going to have to manually add new resolutions. is this a good idea? If I do this, it'd be easy, because I could just do that and add, like, manual checks to go, okay, 1920 by 10 is the resolution, blah, 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 blah. But... that's not what I want to use. I want to do something that'll make it easier for me in the long term to just, like, slip whatever numbers I need in there. Okay, how about... okay, in that case, we're just gonna do... 1920. It's gonna be a number. And it's gonna be... what should we call this? Res width? There we go. And then close that. Because I don't need to keep it open. So, res width and res height are now exported out. I have the current resolution width, current resolution height. And what I could actually do... what I could actually do is I could change the resolution scaling too. I could actually pull out I could pull out two options. I could change like the resolution itself. So you'd have 1920 by 1080, and then you change that to like you know, a 720 by whatever, or 480 by whatever, and it would scale that down as long as you set it to 16 by 9. But then I can also change it to like 4 by 3 to get a more square shape, and it would change the resolutions in that case. I mean, what is 1920 5 by 9 times 16? That's not it. Okay, it is just 1080. Okay. So 1920 divided by 16 times 9 is 1080. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's add another one here. Let's add another thing here. We're gonna call it aspect ratio. How would I do this? How many aspect ratios are there? Okay, so the two most common ones are 4 by 3, or 4 to 3 and 16 to 9. We also have 1 to 1, which is square, duh. 12 to 9, 14 to 9, 16 to 10, 1.85 to 1, 2 to 1, 2.35, and 2.39 to 1. What are the... hold on, let me see. What are the aspect ratio... ultra wide? How much is this? 21 to 9. Why? Ooh, for what purpose? I've always looked at these things and gone, why? Okay, so let's say I pulled an aspect ratio. And changing aspect ratios isn't too bad, all things considered. But how would I actually implement that? If I were to implement an aspect ratio changer, I would do let's say I do 4:3 aspect ratio as like an option, right? Okay, so let's say I do 4:3 aspect ratio, and then I change it to 16:9. So what would that actually be changing? That would be changing... I'd change two variables, which would display the numbers, and then I would probably just... I guess it would just be an array that I'm just swapping through. So what would probably be is I would just get the aspect ratio, like, index number. Like, set 0 to 4:3, 1 to 16:9, and then, you know... whatever else as it goes up. So each one of those would have a specific index number in an array. So let's do an array right now. And let's do variables here. So let's go aspect. Aspect 0. It would be a two-part array though, wouldn't it? Because I need to get two different values out of that. So let me see here. How would I do a array 2? Okay, let's do array 2 variable. Because I think, if I remember correctly, there's like an array where you do like 0 and like 0, like that, and that gives you a number. 2D arrays. It was 2D arrays, because these are one-dimensional. Okay, let's see if I can pull in a 2D array here. It's taking a minute. There we go. Arrays are extremely useful and can hold an essential part of making games. Essentially, a type of variable that can hold multiple values as a list. Can store the following code using the item syntax and current array that's stored in a variable. The items stored in the array can later be accessed through a variable using an integer number starting at 0, which is placed inside brackets. Yes. Multi-dimensional arrays, that's what I want. Okay, so it's actually like this. Instead of like that, it's like that. GameMaker, you can have arrays with multiple dimensions, which are essentially structured as an array inside an array inside an array. For example, the following is a two-dimensional array. Array 0, 0 is 5. Just an example. Array 0, 0 is 0. Array 0, 1 is 1. Array 0, 2 is 2. Array 1, 0 is 3. 1 is 4. Array 1, 2 is 5. Code above, array 0 holds another array, and so does array 1. Multi-dimensional array needs to be initialized before use, same as a single 1D array, and can hold real number strings and any other data type, just like any other variable, making them ideal candidates for any game that needs to store large amounts of data in an easily accessible way. You can loop through an array easily. You can also initialize a multi-dimensional array within one statement by nesting one-dimensional arrays. Ah, interesting. And of course, you can do 3, 4, etc. arrays if you really want. Okay, is this what I want? Okay, so what would I do with this, then? How would that work? So it's not... Okay, so that's not quite right. What I'm actually getting here isn't... What I wouldn't be getting here is not... This is a single value stored in like a larger data cluster. What I want to get is 2 values stored in a single data cluster, which isn't the same thing. So what I could do, actually, is I could do something like this. 0, this is 16, this is 9, 0, 0, 0, 1, just like that. And then just manually fill that out. For example, I do this. And now I have 2 different arrays. So what it'll do is... I would just have something on create GUI, for example. If I go to the GUI. Draw GUI. For example, right here, I would have it be... this one would be just... it'd be nothing here. This would just be aspect 0 0 plus something like that, I think. So let me actually see if this works. Let's put this into the room. Just quickly just pop open the testing room. I don't need either of those, but it's fine. Okay. Yeah, let's try loading this one in there. Let's see what happens. Is it going to show up with... Huh. Okay, hold on. Is there a way to do... I want to pull this into a single thing without having to, like... without having to get 3 several things. Can't type text with the variable in the middle. There we go. Okay, so draw text xy, player xy plus string. Okay, so let me try that. String of this. And then I actually do it. Let's see. No. I have to do that. Okay, well, it's not showing up. Okay, let's try pulling this out first. See, that works. Nothing. Okay, set draw color. That's good. Set text font. Oh, it's not set to anything, that's why. That's probably why it wasn't working. I hope. Nope, that's not why it wasn't working. Okay. See, that should work, though. This one should work. No? Okay, maybe I need to set... Oh, no, I set the draw color. And it's in there. It's right there. Hold on, something weird's going on here. Why isn't... Why isn't object test getting spawned in? Why isn't this spawning in? What? It should spawn in when I press R. It should be... What? Why isn't that working? Like, it should be showing up with a bunch of information about whatever I'm doing here. Master controls, controller utility. Why isn't this... What? Hold on a second. I'm gonna load up the main game to see if this is working right, 'cause something's funky. Excuse me? What? What? How did that happen? What the fuck? Okay, I'm gonna restart this whole thing real quick. I'm just gonna restart the whole thing. Because I have no idea why the text just started not working. Fuck? What? I didn't change anything, though. What the fuck? Okay, what have I done? The only thing I've done so far is create this object. I have done nothing else. And somehow this has broken it. Somehow this is causing it so nothing works. Oh, I'm an idiot. Also, shouldn't this be persistent? There we go. Oh yeah, right, I gotta turn the setting back on. There we go. Alright. Stupid. It's real dumb. I don't know why controls wasn't persistent though, that was weird. Okay, back to the test room then. Display. Okay. Alrighty, so now going back to display. Let's enable all that again. There we go. Go back to draw, QE. Maybe not 100 there. Let's try that. It's fine. Let me see if this works. Does work. So that should give me, ta-da! There's the aspect ratio. It's 16:9. You can't see it right now. Hold on, let me increase this a bit. Forgot it was hidden underneath the currently playing thing. There you go. Look, 16:9. That's the current aspect ratio according to what I'm telling the computer. Good. So that's what I can do. That makes things way easier because then I can just force these. I can force this one to be like N or something. N will be, you know, related to whatever I wind up picking as the correct number, and then N and 0 gets whatever. Perfect. That will work. I may be putting the cart before the horse a little bit here by doing this, but it makes me feel better. Let's have N start at 0. Because I'm not going to need to increment up the second part of the thing. It's just I'm assigning the second part and doing whatever. So I can do another one here, for example. Let's go 2, 0, 2, 1. And this one will be 21 by 9 for those ultra-wide monitors. In case you really want those. Alright, that takes care of aspect ratio nonsense. So in that case, all I really need is resolution width and resolution height, but I will... let me actually get another one in here. Let's go... Okay, so we're going to call this the index 0. So I'm going to be setting... I'm trying to determine. I think what I'll do is I'll set this... These will be in there, basically as a option to manually change it. If you want to do some kind of weird aspect ratio thing, then you can just do that, and it'll let you do it. So what I'm going to do instead is aspect ratio default will 0. Aspect ratio, let's put it on step. So we got our 3 variables here. Res width, res height, aspect ratio. So we are going to go first. Alright, so first, let's get a variable, or let's see, if variable is not equal to res height. So actually, you know what? Let me get a temp variable actually. Res temp. So this is going to be equal to res width divided by aspect 0, 0 times aspect 0, 1. So if res temp is not equal to res height, then you use whatever the custom resolution settings are. If it is, then you use the aspect ratio stuff. How do I want to do it? Oh, let me think here. Let me see. You can set the custom resolutions. I think this would actually be a for loop. For I is equal to 0, I is less than... I is less than 3. Increments by 1, so it goes 0, 1, 2. So res temp is equal to aspect I 0 times aspect I1. So that'd be 1920 divided by 16 times 9. Good, correct. So if res temp is equal to res height, then break loop and, you know, do whatever else. Assign variable n to equal I and break the loop. Yeah, so it'll... Actually, this can probably be done in the create step, because I only need to run it the one time. Right? I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm getting very much ahead of myself. Anyway, I've got the resolution set up. I got the aspect ratio, which has a key. Oh yeah, I'd have to set the key, wouldn't I? The key would be n in that case. So I would get, should I set to -1? No, wait. I'll figure this out later. I had to set it up so I can actually do anything with the resolution first. Then I can do the fancy stuff. Got the 2D array stuff going, that's fine. So that's just, okay, so manage display, you got read settings, INI. Doesn't actually tell me how I do these things. How do I actually do any of these things? Where does this go? Because it's not... Is it... Okay, this isn't the thing here. View camera... Camera create view... Camera? Set view variable. Camera, so I can pick multiple different cameras. Visibility, X coordinate, Y coordinate, viewport width, viewport height. Viewport surface ID. Okay, so... See, this is something I've never really mucked around with. Just viewport width and viewport height. Right here, I guess enable viewports, viewport 0, camera properties, viewport properties, object following. So that would be if I want to follow, you know, an object moving around, like the ball or whatever. See. So if I change viewport property to be 1300 or 12, let's say 1000. And see what that looks like. Why is it black now? Aha! So that actually stretches it out. Okay. Okay. Why is it black? I change it to visible. What does that do? Okay, what about if I clear viewport background? Why is it black is my question. Unless... Okay, what's in this room again? Master controls, control utility. This is just me drawing out all the information I need for the controller stuff. I don't... Huh. Yeah, this is just drawing all the transform values for those things, which is not what I care about at the moment. Master controls wouldn't have anything. So why is the background black when I have the viewports enabled? If I do this, it's going to be purple again. And the game caused the black screen to show up. So if I set it to 0, is that what caused it? Yeah, okay, wait, no, it's not on, that's why. No, it's still black. Weird. Why is it black? Also, that's the entire camera. Why is it black? Let's see if maybe doing this will do something. No, it's still black. What the fuck? Earth is going on here? Also, let me see something here. Is there a clamp? You can maintain an input value between a specified range. So I could theoretically actually clamp. Okay, let me try something here real, because I just realized something here, right? there a way to, like, position? Set instance variable... Position, maybe? No. Maybe that'd be a step event. Set instance variable like x coordinate. Can I clamp this? I can. So I don't have this. That'd be a function, wouldn't it? Yeah, so clamp, it would be x. It will be physical position x. Okay, let me go here. Oh, fifth position. I see. The code above stores the instance x and y position in two variables. Alright, the variable is the physics equivalent to the instance variable x, which is just x. So I guess this would be self.x. Or it'd be self.y, rather. So self.y clamped between... I don't know. I'd have to somehow get the positions of the walls. Val, min, max. Where's the center of the wall object? Instance nearest would be 0, 0, wall. And instance nearest would be 0, room height, obj wall. So that should clamp it between those two positions, I think, right? Is that how that works? This function, you can maintain input value between a specified range. Returns real value. Okay, so let's do that, I suppose. Also, I'm gonna real quickly just test that out. Because that's something that's been bugging me for a while, and if this works, that'll be excellent. Uh-huh. Well, clearly it doesn't. Alright, it's K. Okay, let's if I enable that, what's it gonna do? Okay, it's not gonna spawn the ball. Why wouldn't it spawn the ball? Weird. I'll just disable that for the time being. I'll figure that out later on. That's just something that came to mind for a second. Still trying to figure out how to do this stupid viewport stuff and why it's not working. Okay, so you got the camera stuff there. Now, why are you doing that? Let's try turning this one on real quick to see. It's not loading into the room, is it? Yeah, no, it's not. Okay. So what about if I do this? Let's see what it'll do. Yeah, as expected. Okay, so room Viewport. So if I change this to 1920 by 1080, what's that going to change? Will that make the entire thing fit in there or what? Okay, so what about if I change this around to this? This camera obviously will now make it fit this entire thing. What happens if I change the viewport size down? Okay. Okay, so changing... Okay, I'm trying to figure out how exactly this works. Changing the camera size will make it so that it fills up and shows the entire screen. But will change how it's being treated inside its own code. I think? Okay, hold on a second. 1360. Okay, so when they're both the same, that's normal, right? This makes sense. I'm basically looking at a chunk of the screen, which is not the entire screen. I'm looking at like a small window that's part of the larger view. That makes sense. And of course, just to sort of cleanse myself of whatever I'm looking at, this is what it actually looks like. It's nothing, in fact, if I have that set. So if I do this, this is what it'll look like, right? What happens if I do clear viewport background? What does this do? I don't know what that does. way. Actually, I can look it up. Oh, that's what it means. Oh, okay. So, I think I might know what's going on here then. So there was a post about, like, somebody was basically dragging a sprite around and was causing really trippy effects to occur on the back screen here. In fact, I could probably do that right now if I just spawn in a new object. Let's create a new object here. I'm just going to call this test. No, I don't even need to make a new object. I have a test object for this purpose. So object test, and we are going to create a... actually, I don't even care that much. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give this a sprite. Get this sprite. There you go. And on step. I can get rid of these things. I can get rid of most of these things, honestly. Is the test object even in here right now? No, it's controller and controller utilities, so I can just clean this thing out. None of this is needed anymore. This was entirely test objects before I made the other two. Alright, so step. Let's make a step event here and set. This is variable x coordinate is mouse x. So I bet what's going to happen is when I run this, it's probably going to leave like a trail of stuff all across the screen here. I didn't put it in the room. So let's just say here, right? It's not visible. It's not visible. Why isn't it visible? Why isn't it visible, though? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, you know what? Let's do something else here then. I'm just gonna... throw a ball in there and see what happens. It'd be easier if I could figure out why it wasn't showing up. Also, you go away. I don't need you. So really, why isn't this showing up? Sprite menu button. Every step of the way. Actually, better idea. Let's enable those two for the time being. I'm going to disable this viewport stuff. See if that changes everything. So this should just follow my mouse. Yeah, look at that. Whoa, it works. Whoa. Spank the monkey. Okay, so that works. So why is Viewport not letting me do anything with it? Like, what the fuck is this about? Why is it black? Why is it... Seriously, I don't understand what's going on here. Why is it doing this? What? Something is drawing on top of it, I think. It looks like something else is drawing on top of it. That's my only guess. But none of these would do that. The display object, the display master, has a draw GUI step, which doesn't do anything like that. The only other two are controller utility, which has stuff in GUI, but it's all basically just all printing information. And master controls, which again only prints information in this instance. So why on earth is this room going black? Like, what is it? What's going on here? What is going on? What the fuck is going on here? Okay, I'm gonna look at the manual stuff for viewports. Cameras and viewports. Creating rooms in GameMaker, you set up different viewports and/or cameras to control what is displayed to the player. The viewports are basically little windows into your game world that enable you to show the player parts of a room that are scaled or 1-to-1. As such, they are essential while your game room is larger than the display size. Cameras are what define exactly what will be shown in each viewport. The game permits you 8 independent viewports, numbered 0 to 0, and an unlimited number of cameras, of which only 8 can be activated at one time, one assigned to each of the available ports. Normally, you only need 1 or 2 viewports. Cameras can show different parts of the same room and can be activated and deactivated, as well as assigned to viewports at any time, meaning that you can use cameras to draw HUD elements, or to have split-screen effects, or to create cut scenes. For example, essentially you position a camera within a room and define the view of the room that we visit to it, and then this view is drawn to a viewport. I see. See. I wonder if that's why I wasn't getting the stuff working properly with the surfaces. By default, you need to select clear display buffer from the room editor for the color will be shown. You can only set the color using the Windows set color. If you don't use this function, it will default to black. How? Okay, how do I... I'm trying to figure this out because this seems like it would be a problem that will actually, like, come back to bite me in the ass in a little bit. Let me see something here. If I change the background to sprite, does that change it? Does that make it not just straight black? I saw it there for a second. It was there for a second. I saw it. Pretty sure I saw it there for a second. No, it's not. It's not working. Why is it not working? Can't tell if I'm imagining it or not. Like, why? Why is it doing this? I just don't know why it's doing this. And it's specific to, like, clear display buffer or whatever, it doesn't matter. As long as the viewport's on, this thing is doing this. So why? I just don't understand. I don't understand. I don't get it. Why is it doing that? Okay, let me try pulling out the, I'm gonna try pulling out master and controller utilities real quick. Just see if this works. I'll also pull Object Master Display out, because why not? Nothing here except for testing, which is basically an empty object. Okay, so it does work. So what the fuck in the display object was doing that? It's drawing that. Oh. That was the problem, wasn't it? Yeah, I would do it. Because it was overriding the display. Yeah, that's it. It was overriding the viewport information. That was it. Okay, its value, it's going to be a res width, res height. Wacka wacka. It's not doing it still. Curious. Okay, so that's the size of the camera. That's taking up the area, so that'll be a little bit larger than the room itself. And if I do this, it'll show me, it should show me the exact same area, right? Yeah. But if I were to, say, increase this to 1500, it should show me some black on the side. Or gray, or whatever that color is. Except it's not. Okay, so it's still purple because that's the background color, so it just defaults to that. Okay. I should probably set these two instead of here. These two should probably be in the create event, so they're not running every single second. also make these temporary if I want. Okay, so those are not overwriting it for some reason. So for some reason that is not overwriting what's going on here. I wonder. What's visibility? Is visibility a integer or is it a true false? Bool. So I want to set to true. So I turn off this right now. Still, oh my god, look at this. It's been stretched out. Curious. Very curious. So if I turn this off, if I just disable that, it should give me like the regular rectangle, right? Or rather, it doesn't give me anything because viewports aren't even enabled, period. Let me see what this thing says about this. Resolution. And as a scaling factory, floor, make sure target height is our minimal height. Camera create view. So camera, if you use your view width, viewed height, view export. So that's a function. Camera create view, room X, room Y, width, height, angle object. So it'd be room X, room Y. And I can export this to a camera, which would be camera 0. This is a mess. I thought it was just going to be like, oh yeah, just set this thing over here to just, or wherever it is. set this to like variable, set that to variable, be done with it. But no, instead I actually have to like do stuff with viewports and cameras and it's a mess. Okay, maybe that GameMaker blog thing one has one. Oh, you actually have to destroy the camera. This code will loop through every room in your game, destroy the default camera, and then create a new camera that's correct for the display size and aspect ratio, as well as enable a viewport in the room for the camera to act on. Scaling solution gives a best fit and can easily be adapted to suit your own base game resolution. Note that you can call this code in a script, so you can simply call the script at the start of each room. You even add a final piece of code that's automatically set all the views in all your rooms, so you only need to call it once at the start of the game. That would be good. Okay, okay, so I have to set a idealized window size. I have to say that the game is supposed to run at 1920 by 1080. Right? That is the room size that the game is supposed to be running at. Take our 1024 by 768 game on 800 by 40 device. So the viewport height to be 768, and then multiply that by the aspect ratio of the display. 800 divided by 40 is 1.66, so 5 to 3. So the resulting width is actually 800 by 40 times 768 is 1280. That can actually 128 pixels on either side of the base width, and so you have to take this into consideration when designing the game. Also, it's true if, for example, our game was run on an SXGA resolution device, 1280 by 1024, you would have 1280 by 1024 on 768 is 960, so we're losing 32 pixels from each side. Okay, so what I think it is I set the game size, no matter what. Game size is always going to be 1920 by 1080. That is my default base size for the game. You know, this particular testing room notwithstanding. The game is always 1920 by 1080. Then I'd make a camera. The camera in this instance is always looking at the entire room. The entire room is always going to be captured by a camera that's looking at a 1920 by 1080 screen for the view. Because if it isn't, then it's not capturing the entire view. Then my viewport gets scaled down depending on what I want. At base resolution, it's going to be displaying at 1920 by 1080. That's the viewport for the game. That's what you're seeing. That's how it's shown to you. If you scale that down to 1280 by 720 or something, that means that the viewport gets scaled down, but it's still displaying the same base 1920 by 1080 resolution of the game. And so on and so forth. If I wanted to scale it up, the viewport would be getting blown up, which is why games sometimes get blown up and look terrible in 4K, which makes sense. Because they were designed for a computer in which 4K just could not exist, so you're going to have all these sorts of things. That's why games have anti-aliasing and such, to make it so that they scale up better. Theoretically, even though they don't. And that's why you have downsampling, where if you have a game that runs natively at 4K, you run it at 4K on a lower resolution monitor, which makes it look nicer for you. That makes sense. Okay, now I understand. I understand downsampling. I understand how that all works. Okay, so let's see here. Knowing that information, let's go back to the main menu here. Main menu is set to 1920 by 1080. Yeah, good. Camera is currently set to the wrong view. There you go. The camera's now showing everything. The camera's got everything in there. Now the viewport is a little different. It's set to 1920 by 1080 for the moment. So that's doing that. Now, if we go to our object here, on create, we get resolution height, resolution width. Right? Resolution height, resolution width from our ini file. Which I probably should also go to main menu real quick here. Create, I think it's, which one of these user events is it? Is it setting initialization? There it is. Okay, so let me go. All right, I have here settings. Resolution scale is that. Resolution size. So this is actually going to be. I don't know why I move so slow when I'm doing this. Oops. I don't think it actually moves at all. Alright, so what did I... Probably, I should probably do resolution height, because that's actually what everything's scaled off of, right? You're scaled off the height of the monitor as opposed to the width. You go, it's 1920 by 1080, but nobody says it's a 1920 monitor. It's always a 1080 monitor. I should probably call it resolution scale. That's a fine name for it. Or no, aspect ratio. Oops. What was I even typing on? Okay. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now I've got that sort of set in my settings file here, so I can just copy that over as needed, when needed. I've got a master main menu as well. Huh. Maybe I should delete that? Probably should... Yeah, it's fine deleting it, because it gets recreated anyway. Just, I'm gonna have to make sure everything's set here properly. True. So 1920 by 1080, the camera view set there, blah de blah de blah. Hey, look, it's my normal game. Wahoo. Okay, so as we're actual game, we're going to start by exploring the keep aspect ratio option, the graphics option of game options for each platform. What is this? It's linking me to... What is this? Game options. Why am I... Game options are set... Wait, this is... What's this menu? What menu is this? What? No, what menu is this? There's a game options button, and then there's a platform settings button. Default scripting language. Ultra color. Wait, I think this might be depreciated. Option stuff. Oh, it's right there. God, it took forever. Alright, so if I go general and go to like Windows, I guess, graphics. Hey, look at that, I got settings. Borderless window, allow window resize, keep aspect ratio. Ah, there we go. The actual game, we're going to start by explaining the keep aspect ratio option in the graphics section of the game options for each platform. Adds black bars to pad the game and make it fit the display while maintaining the game's aspect ratio with respect to the device or display aspect ratio. When using this option, you can simply go no further and leave GameMaker Studio to do all the work for you. This is not the most effective option, since GameMaker cannot decide for you how things should be done and must go with a solution that will work for most people on most platforms, and let's be honest, no one likes a modern game that has been padded this way. Well, the main issue will be the size of the application surface. If you're not familiar with your blah. Basically, you have the application surface at a 1-to-1 resolution with the display size, or you scaled it up to fit, Y up and not down. In general, scaling up is faster for GPUs. Say, for example, your game is designed around 1024 by 768, so you can play on a device with a resolution of 800 by 480. GameMaker Studio will default to creating the application surface at the original size, which will then be scaled down for drawing to the display, which we don't want. We can get around this by using the following in the room creation code. Vary display width, vary base width, base height, this aspect equals base width, base height, game aspect ratio. If display get width, display get height, portrait. Oh, I see. If the width of the display is less than the height of the display, then it goes to portrait mode. Otherwise, it's in landscape mode. You got height is equal to rounded down base, display get height, and then aspect ratio times that to get the width. Surface resize, application surface. Oh. Now with aspect ratio correction on in the global game settings, our application surface will be set. Our aspect ratio will be set to the correct width and height up to a maximum 1024 by 768, which is our base resolution. Display is larger than this, and we let gamers go automatically, so we don't want to resize the application surface to be greater than it needs to be, drawing more pixels than necessary. Note that the application surface hasn't actually been rendered yet. You can call the resize function in the start room or create events of an instance without issues, and in the first render frame, it will be the size you set. Okay, so the full scale thing will just stretch it to fit whatever. That's how you'd expect, right? That's pretty normal, I think. This thing right here. That just scales to fit. Okay, set up the viewport and camera to adapt to the correct display ratio. To do this, you need to get the aspect ratio of the base game size and aspect ratio of the display. The base game size is the ideal height and width you want your game to be shown at. We're calling it the base size because the final width and height will actually vary depending on your aspect ratio. Why is this? Because what we want to do is take one of the values for width and height, maintain it while we crop or expand the other value to fit the screen. Yeah, okay, set the viewport height to be 768, and then multiply that by the aspect ratio of the display, so the resulting width is actually blah, blah, blah. It's 1080. Display get width, display get height, aspect is that. Okay, so, now I'm starting to understand what this is doing. Okay, vary aspect width, display get width, display get height. If the width is less than the height, then it's portrait mode. View width is min, base width, max width. Oh, I see. I see. So what it's actually doing is it gets a variable, which is view width, which is the smaller of the two between the base or the screen itself. So if it's a smaller screen, it'll pick the smaller one. Like with your phone or whatever, it'll go, okay, your phone is however many pixels wide and however many pixels... however many pixels wide or tall, depending on if it's a landscape or portrait mode. So it'll do that, and then it'll take that in order to multiply it by the aspect ratio to get you the correct height of everything. And if it's larger, that means it takes your base game thing, use that, and then it'll do that, and then GameMaker resizes it upwards for whatever you need. Then you get a camera set view size. Camera 0 is going to be floor, which is the small... which is a floor of the view width and the view height. So the camera will be resized to match whatever your new view width and view height values are. And the viewport is going to be scaled to match the size of the screen, regardless of what it is. If the screen's larger and the game is small, if the game's base size is smaller, the size of the screen will be scaled up, and so on. Okay, I understand now. Okay, so what it does then... Okay, so I don't need to do this just yet. Okay, I can disable... I don't really need to disable that, but like, I'm not going to touch that for the time being. This, I'm absolutely going to touch, though. That's going away, as is this. And this. Okay. Me. Okay, so this is... Okay, so let me, I think this is going to be... Oh, yeah, function call. Okay, you know, I'm probably going to want to do a user event here. Okay, so... This is going to be... Get, display information. Height, width, aspect ratio. Compare two games inbuilt values. Okay. So let's do function call here, and probably want to get a second function call as well. Okay, so function calls, I'm going to want to get display, get DPI? Wow. And you can actually get the frequency. Display, get GUI height. Orientation. How old is this blog post? 2019. Okay, let me see here. Display get orientation. How does this work? This function will return 1 of 4 constants GameMaker has to tell you whether the device running the game is being held in landscape or portrait mode. See the table below. This function may not correctly detect the orientation of the device when used in the HTML target module. However, this is easily mimicked by use of the following script. Return browser width once less than browser height. Such a function will return true for portrait and false for landscape. So it returns a value. If it's display landscape, it's horizontally. Display landscape flipped is upside down. Display portrait and display portrait flipped. Oh, I could see something being used here. So one thing I actually had knocking around in my head for ages was a very silly idea. Not particularly good. It was a shmup. You know, like an Ikaruga or something like that, where the game would occasionally swap between horizontal and vertical. So you had games where, like, shmups typically take 2 forms, where there's one where it's horizontal, where you're just going across a screen scrolling around the background, and you're shooting things to your right, and you just keep going to the right and shoot stuff. And then there's ones that you're flying upwards, like an Ikaruga, where your screen's going upwards. And generally speaking, those ones have the big vertical black bars because it's just it's a 16:9 rectangle pointing vertically instead of horizontally. So my idea was like, what about if I got a game which just like swapped between those two, and on occasion, if you had like a special setup that could read an output variable being put out by the game, it would actually automatically rotate the screen for you. So that was a dumb little idea I had, and I suppose you can also do the same thing with the phone, just by like hold it horizontally, and then when it flips, just flip it vertically. I never actually got around to like doing anything with that. One, because it seems like a lot more work than it's worth, and two, because it's kind of dumb. Why would you have a game that swaps between 2 different orientations? It's functionally the same thing, really. Like, the only thing you would be doing is just changing 90 degrees what you're looking at. It doesn't really add much to it. Besides adding a lot of headache and eye strain when you switch things around. But like, I thought it would be a funny little idea to do. I don't see the point of it. Maybe there's a game that does that. Let me see. Huh, there's actually design changes. Vertical is more conductive for games which rely heavily emphasis dodging lots of fast bullets, gives you more time to react, is more intuitive for dodging than horizontal, like dodging a car. The play space is restricted on the size to limit how far you can move in either direction, which forces you to dodge around shots rather than just hoard them all from left to right. Horizontal works better for games with stage hazards, like walls or branching paths. You get more freedom to play with level design in this perspective. I suppose that's not wrong. I don't know. Alright, that's not really particularly relevant to this exact moment, but that was just... I just saw that there, and it's like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Okay, so display get timing method. Okay, so let's say display get... height. All right, and I can output these as temporary variables too. Okay. All right, so we have... All right, I've also got the base width and height. Should I do that with this? I'm going to call user event 0 here, because I might want to pull these two in. Yeah, so what I might do is pull these two in here. Just grab these two variables, throw them in here, and say if they're different... Which one do I want to override it? I guess the one in the thing, right? Yeah, I guess it would be that. So I'd override it with the, with these two. Problem is going to be, getting it to work properly. So let's get, let's call this, get display heights, whatever. This H. And call it disp W. So, if disp H is not equal to res there we go. Disp H becomes res height. There we go. So now these two will swap. In that case, what's the point, right? If I do that, then there's not really any point to doing that. Unless I add a new thing here. let's open this here. Okay. 0 is use there you go. So I have a res custom thing here. So let's do that. Res custom. If oh no, you know what? I can still pull those values in, and I'll just have a if res custom right here. Just do this. So that'll just overwrite it. There. So normally it's gonna run with this stuff. Otherwise, it'll run with the ones I pulled out from the INI file, which will allow people to customize their settings. They'll be able to enter a custom value. And get that value to actually work. Okay. So we got the display width and height from there. So now, aspect. Maybe I should set it starting at 1. So 0 will be a, no, because... Yeah, I mean, you know what? No, I won't set it. I'll set it 0 here because that's fine. But like, I've got an n variable here, which will be fine. You know, I'm going to do this up here. Yeah, jamming. Also, getting work done now. I think I'm starting to get it. Okay. This also makes it easy for whoever to just run into the INI file and just go, okay, 0 and 1. Ta-da! Okay, I'm not going to bother with the portrait or landscape thing. Okay, so, function call. So minimum between... So I guess I do height, right? So it's argument dispatch and dispatch. Asprat. Aspect ratio is get width over height. Cool, so that's equal to I starts at 0, I is less than 3, increments up by 1. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to start this at 1. Because that way I can have 0 be an unassigned value. Okay, actually, I'll make that separate. There you go. So the normally assigned ones are now set to 1, 2, and 3, and I can add more of those literally as I desire. Aspect ratios for 0 is being reserved for specifically an aspect ratio that does not correspond to one of the existing ones. Now that said, how would I even calculate that? Is there like a simplified fraction thing in here? I don't think there is. Can't get like 16 to 9. So this is probably just going to be 1 from now on in that case, because I'll just do like whatever the ratio is to 1. Oh, that's right. I should probably add a 1-to-1, just because. So 4 is 1-to-1 now. There we go. Alright, so user event 0 for loop, blah blah. 0 is less than 5. I starts at 1. Okay, so if So if I0 is less than, is divided by I1 is equal to aspect ratio How do I get it to do an if loop if it hasn't done anything? Okay, so let me think here. Okay, so if the aspect ratio is equal, then what number do I change? Let's say n. So n becomes equal to I. And break out of the loop. I can also get rid of this thing now, considering I'm just doing the same thing here. Okay, so that's done. N is equal to I. Break the loop. And then at the end of this, afterwards, if n is equal to 0 at the end of this whole thing. So if aspect ratio, if the temporary aspect ratio here from these variables is equal to this, so let's say it's 19 by 10a, if that's 16 by 9, then this gets set to 1. Which, you know, is whatever. If otherwise, if n is still 0, then assign aspect zero to be a sprat. There. So now the aspect ratio is saved. And the main reason I'm doing this is because it lets me guarantee that I can just continue adding whatever aspect ratios I want forever without a problem. Anyway, so I take the minimum between display horizontal and what would I get for this? I guess I'll set these two here. Okay, so that gets output as view height. Variable is it height times Okay, yeah, it's height times the aspect ratio. So 2 times... There. That should do it. Okay. I haven't put this into here, right? Yeah, I haven't. Good. Okay, so testing. Did I load the main game or the testing game? The main game. Okay, change this around. Testing. So it's got a 0:1 aspect ratio, which is correct. Sort of. Oh, actually, no, that isn't correct. So I want draw GUI, and I want aspect N0 and N1. There we go. What'll that give me? 16:9. Is that correct? I mean, yeah, actually it is, because my monitor is a 16:9 monitor. Ah, this is gonna be a problem, isn't it? Because I can't test this easily. Ugh. Yeah, this is gonna be an issue. This is going to be the hardest thing to test by far, because I can't change the aspect ratio of my monitor easily. Actually, I can do one thing. So I'm going to just do... I'm going to build, create executable, package a zip. One thing I can do, actually, is I do have a second computer here. I have my stream computer, as I call it. I can actually move that over to here. There we go. Extract BlockBall. And we're going to run BlockBall on my streaming computer. 1.25 to 1. Hey, it works! It's properly getting the aspect ratio out. And it's actually scaled right for the screen, too, which is interesting. What is this monitor's resolution? I don't actually know what the display's thing is. What is this thing? Display, monitor, system, display, 1280 by 1024. Five to 4. 5 to 4? I didn't know that was a ratio. Why does 1280 by 1024 exist? So why is the squished outer ratio resolution so popular? That's not helpful. Huh. I did not know this was a ratio. Okay, well, let's add a new ratio then, shall we? There we go, 5 to 4. And you know what, just for funsies, I'm also going to make a new variable right here and just call it, we're just going to call this, max, spec max. Just so I don't have to do anything anymore, I can just adjust this number without having to go find the thing in the user event. Oop. That should work. To 9. Good. Probably works. Let's check it. Okay, executable, package as zip. Replace that zip file. Okay. Okay, so we got this one. Take that out. Over here. Okay. BlockBall. Run it, and 5 to 4! It's picked up properly. Yeah, baby! So that works. Hey, problem solved. Wonderful. We now know that it will correctly, in fact, determine the resolution if it's 1, not properly supported, and 2, if it is properly supported. Hey. So, yeah, it properly determined if the monitor was 5 to 4. When there wasn't a correct value for it, it gave me 1.25 to 1, which is the 5 to 4 ratio. And when I put 5 to 4 in there properly, it properly changed it. So it was in fact displaying at the correct resolution, 5 to 4, on my secondary streaming computer. Also, I'm just going to delete, go here real quick. Oh shit. This hard drive is full. That's awkward. Well, I'm gonna have to deal with that later, I guess. Whoops. Okay, well, first off, good thing it was today where I don't use a lot of hard drive space. Like I've been going for 2.5 hours and I've used up 7 gigs. I've got 19 left, so it's not great, but I do still have space. I want to go to app data, local, where's BlockBall? It's not here? Where is it? Oh, right. There's no ini file being generated. Right. Okay. Good stuff. Anyway, now that that's taken care of, aspirate. All right, so we get this, which is view width and view height. View width and view height are now available for me to see. So let me actually let me print these. So let's move this over to 200 so it's visible on the screen, and we're gonna make 2 more here. View height, let's make that 300, 400. I'm also gonna shrink these down to 3, I think. Just they're not quite so big. Whoop. Hold on, phone call. Sorry about that. I just had to speak to my neighbor real quick because I'm taking care of their cat for a while. So, 2, let's go 4, 6. Anyway, take a look at this. Haha! Look at that. I got 1920 by 1080. Yes. And it's doing that thing again where the view. Why is it doing that? Why is it doing that now? Why is it doing that again? What the hell? Why is it breaking the thing again? It? Why did it break the background again? There's nothing in the step event. Nothing in the GUI. It's not the GUI's fault. It's nothing in the user event. It wasn't anything with the test object, is it? Yeah, no, this is nothing. Literally everything is disabled on this item currently. Okay, it's not that then. So let's enable these. Got nothing in the step event right now. Might as well just enable these. Okay, so you know what? Let's just take it out of the room. If that's the problem, then taking it out of the room won't do anything. Yeah, okay, so it wasn't the problem. So what was the problem? Is it test? It shouldn't be the test object. The test object has literally nothing in it. Okay, what about controller utility? If I take that out. Okay, what about master controls? Did I disable something I shouldn't have? I did. Master controls. Control utility. That's what happened. I still enabled viewports without doing the stuff. There we go. Okay, so 16 by 9, 1920, 1080. This is it's going off the screen here a little bit. It stops working because I drag my mouse off and it loses sight of what's going on effectively. All right, we're good there, more or less. Right. So user event has been called. It does everything there. We have the display is tested. The display get width is tested. All this stuff works. Everything is functional up to this point. Okay, so now moving on to the next step. Landscape camera set view size. Another function call, I think. Okay, that's just... I'm going to save this here because this just gets the display information. Okay, so I got view width, view height. Okay, floor. Camera 0 is the one I want. Floor view width. Viewport width and viewport height. Viewport width, viewport height is surface resize. Location surface, and then it's width height. I probably should have just okay, so theoretically this should do it. Kind of. Huh. Huh. Okay, so okay, I need to do something else before I do this, I think. I need to scale the GUI because the GUI is clearly not working right here. Okay, now I have a feeling what I need to do here is, I think I know what's happening, actually. I think what's happening is this camera is not being cleared and reset. So it's actually keeping these values. So what I probably need to do in that case is, right at the very start of here, right at the very beginning, camera destroyed 0. So if I do that, still not working. Okay, well, you know what? Let's put this one on ice for the time being. But why isn't the viewport... was here, right? Yeah. Let's try that. Ooh, ha 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 ha! Boy, that's ugly. Oh, it opened up a... Oh, interesting. That's the texture. That's the sprite sheet. Interesting. View camera 0. So this is part of the room creation code. So maybe I have to do that over there. I can certainly put that in right there. I'll just let's move the display object for the time being. Let's try this. See what it looks like. See, that's what it's supposed to look like. So what was I missing? Let me try this other one here. That's even better. But how? What am I missing? Also, I just realized this purple is like pretty close to DOS purple. Or God, what was that program? I don't remember. What's the really good SNES emulator that was out for a long, long time? Had like the same purple in the background for it. Anyway, so that is correct. This is the correct code. Is the problem just that it's running at the wrong period of time? Is that it? Is that the only problem? Okay, let me try something here. Let me try something. Let me just disable this for the time being. Let me try something. We're gonna make a new room here. Kind of gonna call this room testing preload. All this room is gonna have in it is my new display object. And as part of the display object, I'm just going to add a little bit right here at the very end. When everything is all said and done, go to specific room, room testing. Room testing does not have the display object anymore. Alright, so there we go. Just gonna see if this works. Doesn't. Okay. Oh. Because it wasn't applying to the other room, that's why. It was applying to the room it was in. So is there a way to, like, change target room? There is, I think. I don't think there's a way to, like, assign this code specifically to the next room. So my thought was I was going to try doing this thing in the preload room because I can use this to just, like, zap in this information at the other rooms real quick before the game even starts up. But this might be something I have to do off-screen. Because I need to... The code works, I just need to somehow get it to apply properly to the room in question. Let me actually look. That Reddit thing I was looking at. There's the initialization room. Read settings, apply display settings, go to next room. This seems like it's the same deal as the other thing I was reading, but just a little bit longer form with a lot of custom scripting stuff. Okay. So what I'm going to do next... Okay, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time off screen fixing this up, and I think what I'm going to learn next time is how to do scripting. Because a lot of these things are referencing scripts, and as far as I can tell, it's probably just like a, I'm gonna just get rid of this room. I don't think I need this room. Just from looking at scripts right now, it seems like what you're doing is effectively creating a new function. Yeah, you declare a new function, and then you use this to create a new thing. So declare a new function. If whatever is equal to this, then assign a variable, you know, whatever. And if I declare the function to be get good scrub, then I can type in get good scrub anywhere else and it'll run that. So for example, if I go up here. Okay, so now I want a function call. There you go, get good scrub. It'll run that based on the information and it'll pull in any information I get as far as arguments are concerned. So that seems like how it works. And you can apply additional arguments as desired. What are these things? Constructor, static, temp. Alright, so I'm going to have to... That seems like it's not much to learn. I'm just going to have to buckle down and do it. Anyway, this is just going to be this is just going to be a pain in the ass. I'm going to have to do a lot of fiddling to get this to work properly. So hopefully next time I'll have resolution sorted out. It's just a lot of, like... This is the hardest one conceptually, I think, to deal with. Because a lot of the other stuff has been, like, working within the bounds of each object. So I'm not doing anything too crazy with, like, however the game is being called or how it's looking. All I'm doing is... I'm getting the object. I take like my object score, and my score object has different properties, and I adjust those properties, and I send variables off to one object or a different object, and I pull variables from other objects, and I get things that interact. That sort of thing. This is the first thing where I actually have to deal with the properties of the game itself, and I'm modifying base details about the game in order to get something to work properly. So it's a full thing. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing I gotta do. So what I could probably do, actually, let's make a new room here. I will do this right now. Make a room, and we're gonna call this room init. This is actually going to be the start room. So what's going to happen here is room init, all it's going to do is it is going to jump into the next room regardless of what I do. So I'm going to put my objects here, say 1920 and 80. I don't need to have anything in here. I don't need to have a viewport or anything like that. This room exists purely to jump into the next room. But because I've now set the stuff here to be 1920 by 1080, I can just do I can have an object initialization object, for example. So I can create a new object here, object, and call this object initialization. All that does is that comes in here. That'll run any code I need. For example, instead of having the initialization of variables in main menu, which is honestly kind of a weird place to have it, all things considered, I can just run it here during the create step. Or we'll actually still put this in a user event, I think. Call user event 0. There you go. User event 0 is going to run setting initialization for stuff like this. And given that I'm actually doing this now, I can actually also pull in a display object and pull in these values. So there you go. Res custom, res width, res height, aspect ratio. All those values have now been entered in. Although I don't know if I'd keep those there or not. Yeah, these are setting all the global values, so those don't need to be done. These ones here aren't global values, technically speaking. Keep him there for the time being. Alright, so anyway, it'll run this. It'll pull out your initialization settings for that, which means I can, technically speaking, pull them out of the master main menu now, which is event 0. So I'll just disable that. Let's use event 1. Set of global variables. Everything's moved to local vars. So, again, that would go in here. User event 2 creates menu objects, which I don't need to worry about. Menu 3, user event 4. Yeah. All right. So then we'd do this, and then it would be room go to the next room, and that goes to the next room on the list. In that case, that would be testing. So, watch. Where is this? Oh, right. I'm just gonna empty this whole thing out. That script, I'm not even doing anything with that script. Just delete it. Just go away. The fuck? What is... Here, just go away. Just go away. Assignment operator expected. At line 12? Which part is that? Oh, that's why. A big code block I hadn't cleared out. Yeah, there you go, look. Big old 1080p window. And effectively, that just instantly opens up to this room, so it'll never not be here. So now that's set. Room inits is just a big old black empty room of nothing, which has a single purpose. The singular purpose it has is to exist to die. That'll move into this room, and because of the room inits, I can actually do this, and I can do all the stuff that I need for the other rooms, which is going to be involving creating a script that'll clear every single room in the game of its current view object, replace it with a better one, which is something I'll tinker with off screen, because that's going to be a lot of trial and error. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, yeah, that's where I'm leaving that for today. Not a whole lot. Me mostly just like trying to come to terms with how this thing even works. And now that I kind of have an idea of how it works, I have to do it, which is a whole other can of worms. So I actually contacted the GameMaker professional I know, and his comment was, and I quote, I asked him, when dealing with resolutions, you set the game's base room resolution and camera resolution, and then the viewport gets scaled up, down, depending. Because that's what I was trying to figure out. Like, is that the way he does it? Is that... Because that's what I was kind of working off of as my assumption. That's before I read the thing, which said, yes, this is actually how you do it. And his comment was, I can't remember specifics, honestly. Views are things I set once and then don't think about ever again. That is someone who has made a game published on Steam. To critical acclaim? Is it critically acclaimed? Let me check. What's the rating like? I actually haven't looked in a while. Yeah, overwhelmingly positive. That's a game overwhelmingly positive. He doesn't like dealing with viewports either, and I can understand why after doing this. It sucks. It's awful. It's not terrible, all things considered. I've got a lot of the base stuff down, right? I've got... Like, going into display right here, I do have a lot of this stuff kind of already set. Like, the stuff I did here, which is good, because that means I pull all the variables out and I get to go, okay, this is display stuff, blah, 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 blah. I don't even know if I'm going to need most of this stuff. Would I do globals? Actually, you know, one thing I could probably do right now? Let's make a script real quick. So let's see here. Create a script. Let's call this Scr settings INI. Yeah, so we'll call it that. Do I want any kind of argument there? No. All this is going to do is it's just going to create the settings INI file. So we're going to do this. It's going to call it so open the INI file, write to INI file, read INI file. Write to an INI file, string, number sections. Pull this from where's settings? Nope, that's the room. I want settings. There we go. Actually, you know what? I can just pull up my fucking... I'm just gonna close all of this, and then I'm gonna just... I got a fucking window for this. Alright, so... sound effects off. Or no, it's under settings. Right? Okay, let me just go back to this. Settings. Yeah, so key, sound effects off, and then value will be, I probably want to go to main menu, actually, because that's where a lot of these defaults are. That's string for that. Okay, so right. Okay, score max. There we are. All right. Write to ini file, all these things. Under the settings section, you got the sound effects, score max, score min, score sub. Score sound effects off, score min, max. Right, I did have a score sub thing, didn't I? Go. Score sub, score max, score min. I wish there was a if ini file exists. That would be helpful. Maybe that's a code thing I can run. Okay, so declare new functions. Settings, false, score max, yep, okay. That writes them. Okay, and... yes, this is reading just those ones. Settings, object master settings. Okay, so score min. Score sub, global score subtract. Okay, so now I've got these other settings which can go in the display, or come from the display, I should say. Those. There we go. Go, so res custom. Res width. Not entirely sure how I do a custom thing there, but it's fine. Figure that out eventually. Okay, then this. There we go. So it runs all these ini things and writes it and then closes the ini file. That's all it does. Settings default. There you go. It's a default setting. That's all it's going to do. Okay, so now I want to go to initialization. Okay, so if... let's see. File exists. Hey, there's a file exists function. Okay, so file exists, settings.ini. It's probably gotta be like this. Yeah. If file exists, Is that the right syntax? No, it's just if. So if file exists like this. And then I think it would be it would, God, what did I just call the function? Scr settings default. There we go. I should probably rename this. No, because that's running the script instead of the function, which is what I'm actually trying to get out of here. So I actually probably want to rename this. God damn it, that's not what I wanted. There. There. I might not even need to do this in a script, actually. There. But, settings default is now set to this. So in addition to everything else, I'll be able to set the settings to a default state should I so need it. So I got a default settings button now, which is handy. I've just got to implement it into the settings menu. Way too wide. There you go. If file exists. Wait. What do I do if not? Null? Unary. How do I do an if not? If blank, then blah, blah, blah. If expression, if... How do I do not? Ah, okay, so I can do this. So if not file exists, settings.ini, then settings default. Then run user event 1, which pulls out the global variables for it, and we continue onwards. So, running that, the settings file is now there. And it is a file as opposed to a ini file, which is a little... Why is it a file? Why is it a file instead of an ini? Oh, that's why. There we go. Okay, so I'll delete that one now. Ta-da! I'll close this, and there it is, settings.ini in all of its settings glory. Good shit. Just move these two around so I can make sure that settings work properly if I switch them to, say... this. Okay, now just going here, go to settings, send effects off, it's set to 1 now, so it is working. All right, so now I've got this nonsense set. So the reason I did that is because I'm going to create a secondary script here, which we're going to call script what are we going to call this? I could probably also make a new script which just will deal with, that'll just deal with the controller shit. I might do that. And what are we going to call this? We're going to call it script, let's call it resolution. So I'll deal with this later. And that'll basically just be me following along with this UI stuff as well, because the UI being outscaled is not great! Well, no, the UI was scaling property when I was doing that other thing too, wasn't it? Alright, you know what? Let's just do this. Fuck it. Let's do this. Nope, not that. Code. There you go. Unregistered variable view height and view width. Yeah, those are unregistered, aren't they? Huh. Okay, well, you know what? Let's see here. View height, view width is equal to... height, view width would be view height is equal to... Let's do 1920. Wait, 1080. There you go. So there you go. Screen resolution is now applied. Sort of. So now I can go to initialization. There you go. Screen resolution. Bada bing, bada boom. And now if I want to do something funky, like let's say 1280, 720. Wrong size. Oh, no, God, look at this. Ooh, oh boy, woo. Oh, that's why. It was 720 by 1280. There we go. So now that'd be scaling it down. Now what's the 640 by 480, I think it is? Hold on, what's 240p? 240p is 426 by 240. Let's try with this one. 426. Let's see how this looks. It's gonna be crunchy, I bet. Let's see how crunchy this looks. Ooh, boy, that's... Ooh, man, look at this. Yeah, look at that big boy. Ooh. Okay, so things still aren't fixed here. Even with copying that script over, I'm still... The window's still the same size, first off. And second off, it's changing the size of the objects, but not the size of the UI. Which is not what I want to do. So that is a lot of work. I'm going to have to figure out what's going on there. We'll see. I'll do a little bit of this off screen, I think. The important part is I got the script going for the settings. So now that's sorted out. And, you know, let me make another one here just so I don't forget. Script. And we're going to call this controllers. And I'll just use this to deal with the fucking controller nonsense. I will say working in code is simpler to an extent. It's obviously not simpler in terms of like making sure you have the correct syntax and like on occasion finding where the error is, because with the blocks it's much easier to just like look visually and go, okay, this slips into here, that's where the issue is, so it's this thing that's the problem. With scripts it's much harder to do that, but at the same time it's also like instead of finding like 5 different blocks and doing a loop, it's 3 lines of code. Like a for loop is just for, enter the thing, do this, close bracket, done. Whereas with the blocks, I have to go for this, find the for block, fill out the for block, put in the other blocks in there, do that, blah, 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 loop everything around, all that. So I understand the blocks are much simpler when working and learning with it. The code is much simpler once you actually know what you're doing and know like what all the pieces are, because then you just go, okay, what was that code again? This, blah, 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 and just type everything out and you're done. With the blocks, it's much easier to go like, okay, what do I even have at my disposal? What tools do I even have available to me? Which I greatly appreciate. It's a problem I'm actually having, because I'm trying to learn another game engine at the same time, and that one has the serious issue of just like, I don't even know what these things are called. I can't find an if statement. No, that's not true. I did find the if statements eventually. They're called conditionals. But just like it was hidden. It's someplace in there. It was totally available, but I didn't even know what it was called or how the game reads it or what the syntax is. It wasn't good. I just could not find what I needed in there. Like here, it's just like, okay, search it up, if. There you go. multiple kinds of if. Hey, cool, I'll pick the one I need. As opposed to, which one of these is even the right category for the thing I need? It's a problem. Anyway, that's where I'm leaving that. So I'll be back tomorrow with Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. The DLC, I believe, is fixed now. I will do some testing beforehand, so if it doesn't work, then we'll just play regularly, and I'll come back to the DLC another time. But it should be working, I hope. Apart from that, next week I will, I guess I've kind of already learned how to do scripting. It's basically just like a series of code that I just pop out elsewhere. That's really all it is. Anyway, next week I guess we'll just be finishing up any stuff that's going on with resolution, fixing that up so it resolves properly, which will be nice. And apart from that, I really don't know. I'm starting to run out of things to do in this game. Like, it's getting dangerously close to the point where I actually have to, like, just spend time making the game good, as opposed to making the game. Because right now, it's just like, I can keep adding... I'm running out of bells and whistles to add at this point. Like, I'm getting close to the point where, like, it is a fully functional game that you could theoretically pay money for, instead of just a weird prototype thing. I am going to add more bells and whistles. Like, LabXBall is not the last thing I'm going to add to the game in terms of alternate gameplay styles. This is intended to be a test bed for me to learn how to do stuff in other actual real games. But for now, it's reaching the end of its initial purpose, which is just make a game that functions. That's why I'm doing all this stuff with like resolution and controllers and stuff, because that's like, that is universal. It doesn't matter if I'm making a shmup, if I'm making a racing game, if I'm making a platformer, I need to know how to do all that stuff. It doesn't matter what game you're doing, those have to be in there. So now that that's set, it's time for the specialty things. There really is nothing to Pong though, is there? It's just, the game is just two objects and then they bounce back and forth, and like there is nothing in Pong. You have to work to add things to Pong. I have a lot of ideas to things to add to Pong, I'm just saying, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, that's where I'm leaving that. So I'll be back again tomorrow, as I said. You've been listening to StreamBeats. This is the Hi-Fi playlist, as I was saying before. As always, big appreciation for StreamBeats for existing, because Lord knows what I would do if I didn't have this music. Probably nothing. It would probably just be me with dead silence the entire time. Just absolute dead silence, and then the occasional boop. Yeah. Alright, so, before we go, though, let's see. Is anyone streaming I can raid real quick? Anyone doing something? Anyone having fun? Ugh, I'm gonna have to, like, spend a lot of time figuring out this Viewport stuff. If you don't vote, Trend New is doing something. I'll send you over to him. He's doing some RimWorld with 250 mods. That's a lot of mods. Still going on that. Alright. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, night, what have you. I'm really not looking forward to dealing with this resolution nonsense, because the worst part is I can't test all of it. I have two computers, which means I'm in a better situation than most people in terms of testing this. Like, I can't test if somebody's got a weird-ass 21:9 monitor. I don't even know how to do that on my computer. Can I, like, spoof it so it has a different resolution? We'll see. I'll see, I suppose. You won't, because that would look horrible on stream. Anyway, see you next time.